How's the demand shaping the technological landscape? I discussed this with David Alan Grier of George Washington University. He's Associate Professor of International Science and Technology Policy and International Affairs. We talked first about cell phone subscribers in India.
There's so much there that you get out of it for expense. The value for someone in India is huge. It connects you to the outside world. You're no longer restricted to your village, to your neighborhood, to the area you can walk or bicycle.
The biggest 4G market continues to be China, although I guess there's been a drop. Give us an idea of what's going on there.
It's some of the same things. It's people learning that they can have a richer and more varied society by using these things, that the access to goods and services increases, and the kind of interactions that you can have with people is much more sophisticated.
You look at India and you look at China, and those are two huge markets. Everyone wants a piece of it. Can Western companies come in there and compete?
Well, yes, they can, and they are already. China is a little bit of a special market because, first, of the character set. Not all Western companies have set up their apps in a way that makes that obvious or easy. And there are, of course, a couple big players there already that are holding down a share of the market. India is a little bit easier because it is alphabetic languages and because they have a longer history of interacting and working with American IT firms.
What about the limitations of competing in these markets, though? Like you said, already there's a footprint in China, and you've got other issues. Talk to us about that.
Well, part of it is it's not just the cell phones. What we're talking about are cloud mobile applications, applications that look to the user as if they're on their phone, but use a system somewhere in the background they don't see. And getting your system in there, or if it's outside of the country, hooking it in, is a challenge in some of these countries. And that is one of the things that holds back competition.
How are these two countries shaping digital development worldwide, would you say?
In two very different ways. India is providing a certain tier of workers that have helped flesh out digital services globally. I would describe them as those that particularly help on the interface level and the interaction level. They have done a certain amount of work on the high end on getting the big systems going, but it's that interaction level that's important. China, because it has a new set of problems and a new set of interactions with existing institutions and government institutions, is providing really a new example for how to think through these activities and how to reach the populace.
Given what you're seeing in these two countries, is there a closing of the technological divide around the world, do you think, as a result?
I think there is. I think we are seeing, individual countries saying, this is what we want to do with it, and then the pressure of what their populace wants and needs and their institutions need start pushing things more and more to a central set of practices and technologies that work well.
So extend it out further. What does it mean for other developing countries, would you say?
Well, part of it is the questions about how to use it are increasingly going to be solved by the four big players, if you will: India, China, the United States, and Western Europe. And when countries like Brazil or much of Latin America come on board, they will discover that they have to fit into an existing framework and will have less opportunity to adjust it to their needs.